Hello, how are you? So, I have a sister, and she has a little boy. There's a picture of him. And he uses a feeding tube. And recently I made some little G-tube pads. And let me show you another picture. Yeah, you got that picture there. These cute little pads that I made. These are some kitty cat ones. Alright, so I figure that maybe I'll just go ahead and show you how I made those. So I'll put this down a little bit. So I have this is one of those like fleece blankets that I just cut up. Makes a good lining. And then I have this strip and this strip. So one for the front and one for the back. Move my mouse out of the way so I don't knock it off the table. So I just line those up on there. And I've already done my pre-cutting, so I don't have to fight with cutting it. I probably should have ironed it too. So let me go ahead and iron that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I have here is like some of that cozy cotton fleece or flannel. And I gotta grab my pins. So I like to take pins and just pin along the edges. This keeps it together. And I'll show you how I make my circles. And I know there's a couple videos on YouTube that already have made, but I figure it's not going to help to make some more. Not going to hurt. So I have a Fiction pen, and it's erasable with heat and iron. So I'm just going to kind of put it on my fabric here. And this is just one of those little 4-ounce, like, condiment, like little fruit cups. And I just like to draw circles around. I don't want to, I want to just leave a little bit of room on each side of the cup. So with this piece of fabric, I'm able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pads. So, and then I like to use my alright, I have a little seam gauge thing here. So I just like to put it on, and it's about 3 inches in diameter. And so I like to mark it at 1.5, so it marks it in the center. And I go both ways to make sure I've got it exactly in the center. And I do that to each one. And I just find it easier to make them in batches than to make them one at a time. And I made her quite a few of like the button pads. Like it has a buttonhole type thing. But I don't think she really needs any more of those. But I will make one of those and show you. So I'll just mark this one here. So basically at my 1.5 mark, I go up to the 1 and mark at that 1/8 of an inch. Then I go down to the 2 and mark just the 1/8 of an inch. And that marks how long I need it. And then I just take my little seam gauge ruler and I just mark it. So we just have little lines there. And on these others, I have made them so that I had like used a bobbin, but they ended up being too big. So I just need like just a tiny little hole when we get all done with it. The bobbin just makes too big of a hole. See that? And then I just kind of draw down and kind of make a curve. And doing this prep, getting them done, like doing them in batches, it makes so much more sense. Okay. So I just have little freehand drawings on there. Works out pretty well. Got my pins in there. So what I like to do is I like to take my machine and I just like to take and sew around with a straight stitch first. I know some people have just gone straight into doing the close zigzags, but I don't like doing it that way. I like to have a little bit of extra stability. And just kind of work it around. And if that means lifting up your sewing foot every couple stitches to get around those curves, by all means. I don't always get exactly on the lines, but I think I do pretty dang good. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I like to sew around this edge. I don't know if you know, it has an outline there. And then I switch it to my zigzag stitch and turn the stitch length way down. And I just sew a line and And when I get around these sharp curves, I like to have it in the other position there. That. On the outside of the curve. And I just kind of turn it. Make sure it's in that curve there. And it just kind of overlaps a little bit and makes it a lot better. Take my scissors and snip that. I have that. The back side. And I'll show you how I do this buttonhole one. And then turn it back to my straight stitch here. It's basically the same method. To the zigzag, and it's a wide zigzag. It's not the widest zigzag, but it's in between. And then I'll turn it back to a straight stitch. Then I will go along this buttonhole area. If my string doesn't break, go figure. Well, it didn't break, it just came out from the needle. Let me thread it a little bit. Okay. And it's good for using up those scraps. Like if you just have little scraps and stuff. But what I did, I went to my local Savers and picked up some fabric to use. Put that back and then just go ahead and go along. And when I get to the end, I make sure it's on the right hand side of the foot. But around, and then it kind of overlaps. So here is the back side. This is the front side. And I can finish these other ones later. Just set those aside, out of the way. I'll cut between them. And I like to use these little ones for the finer cutting. They're a lot sharper and easy and less bulky. I just like to cut close to the stitching, but not into the stitching. I bet she'll be so happy to get some more. And fairly simple to make. Now it does use a lot of thread, but that's okay. Okay. I just go around and I make sure it's all cut up. Alright, now let's go over to this other one and snip that off. I'm just cutting along the stitching. Just like that. Okay, I don't know what I did with my other one, so I just got out a new one. Probably good anyways to get out a new one. And just basically, there you got a hole. So now we have to attach our snaps, like little cam snaps, little plastic snaps. We just need one set. Need this piece, oops, that piece, and that piece, and then two of these end pieces, the pointy pieces. Okay. And the extras, we'll just put back in the bag. I have this cute little bag that I have them stored in. And then I have my tool here. So I like to do is pull it over. And that should be a big enough hole for the little tube. Just kind of pull it over. Kind of makes a little dome. And then I just take my seam ripper thing and I just poke a hole straight through both ends. I like to stick it through this side. And on the part that overlaps, I like to put this flat piece on. Just like that. Earlier I made some and I went to put the second snap on and I put it on. So both of the tops were like that. I'm like, that's not gonna work. So I had to pull it out and redo it. Well, I had to break it apart and put a new one in. See that? And there we go. Little tubey snap, tubey cover. Little G-tube pad. And then here's the one that you can just flip on over the top. Alright, well thanks for watching. Have a great day.